Good morning. Welcome to practice. Uh, it's very wet and rainy here, and the road that I live on is closed due to flooding. But we're dry, and I hope that you're not too badly impacted by the rainfall yourself. So we are going to keep moving and try to dispel some of this wet. A chair might be useful. We'll be doing salute to the sun, even though I can't see it. We might begin standing, feet under your hips, and feeling the earth. Even though there might be floor covering and a floor, even more apartments below you, feeling grounded. Bring your hands onto your belly and feel the movement of the breath there. The belly expanding and contracting with the breath. And that happens because the diaphragm is expanding and contracting with the breath. So move your hands to your lower rib, shoulders relax. Feel the movement of the rib cage. One hand on your solar plexus, so where the ribs meet at the front, and one hand on the breastbone, feeling the breath. The organic engine, the breath. Beautiful. All right, we're going to put one hand on the belly button and one hand behind on the spine, the corresponding vertebra behind your belly button. And begin to wave gently your spine back and forward and lead with your belly button forward and then the corresponding vertebra back. You're standing with your feet under your hips and they are parallel. Waving the spine. And you can release your arms if you like, or if it's really helpful, having your hands in place, leave them there. Keep your shoulders relaxed. And these movements can be as subtle or as exaggerated as you feel like you need. Tuning in to your supple movement of the whole spine. Even though you're leading with that belly button part of the body, notice every little movement all the way up to the base of your skull as the movement then shifts direction. There's even another direction. See if you can reverse the way that your spine is moving. I find that really difficult. Beautiful. We're going to take some shoulder rolls Shoulders up to the ears and down. Nice work. All right, so this is where the seat of a chair facing you might be useful. Otherwise, we're going to be putting our hands on the floor. Just step forward and back. So you can put your hands on the seat of a chair instead of the floor, a little more accessible. Tadasana, feet hip width and parallel, standing at the front of your mat. Arms up and looking up. And then forward bend. Feel the bones of your spine dense, pressing forward. Beautiful. And find a relaxed position or some movement for your spine. And stretch your leg. So letting that be an intense sensation. Keep your awareness on your breathing. Movement, that organic movement of the breath, whether you pay attention to it or not. The life force. Beautiful. And then we'll put the hands down so that you can step back. And we'll step the left foot back and we'll keep the feet parallel to each other. And you want to get a stretch in your left leg, the back leg, but also be able to put your heel on the floor. So the front leg is bent. Good. Put your hands where they support you. If you're really having trouble reaching the floor, putting your hands on the seat of a chair is so nice because you can keep your back relaxed. Good. And then we're going to just play around that breath with stretching the front leg. So bending and straightening. Noticing where it feels really intense and resistant. Where that moving into the stretch might feel pleasurable. Maybe that's not the sensation. Noticing your response. Nice. All right, we're going to balance on the front leg and we're going to lift the left leg up behind a little. So you can keep your tiptoes on the floor if you need to, or just lift the leg up. And we'll keep the hips level to the floor. And looking forward, feeling the bones of the spine pressing forward. Feeling the breath, life force. Beautiful. Now we're going to lift up from here. Swing your left leg in front, but still be balancing on your right. And bring the hands in front of your heart. You can put your left tiptoes on the floor, or you can lift your left knee up nice and high. Draw your shoulder blades down. Finding your breath. And then releasing it. Tadasana. Urdhva Hastasana. Arms up. Look up. Uttanasana. Ease in your spine. Nice big stretch for the legs. Pressing the bones of your spine forward and feeling the engine of the breath. Beautiful. Hands to the floor. Step back your right foot. So from side to side about hip width and still parallel feet. And try to get your back heel pressing down. So don't take such a big stance that you can't press that heel.
Good. And then we'll start to play around with bending and straightening the front leg. Notice, because it's a big reach to get the hands to the floor, that what happens is the bones of the spine, they want to pop up towards the ceiling, especially around that shoulder blade or the back rib area of your spine. So as much as you can, try to look forward, press the bones forward, and then finding that big resistance in your front leg. Feeling the movement of the breath. Beautiful. We're going to put the hands on the floor and lift up the back leg. Standing as straight as you can in your standing leg. Lift your right leg as high as you can to towards parallel to the floor. Hips stay level to the floor. And looking forward, bones of the spine pressing forward. Nice work. And then we're going to stand up, try to lift your torso and swing that right leg forward. Whoa. Balancing, bringing your tiptoes onto the floor if you like, or lifting the knee nice and high, pressing the hands in front of the heart, draw the shoulder blades down, finding your balance, the breath. And then your groundedness in 2 feet. Beautiful. When you're placing one foot down, remember to try to keep your balance in one leg until that last transfer of weight. So you're always balanced. Tadasana. Urdhva-hastasana. Uttanasana. Spine. Pressing forward. Good. Nice big stretch for your legs. You can do one leg at a time or try both together. Lifting kneecaps, lifting quadriceps. Looking forward. Beautiful. All right, this time we're stepping the left foot back for Trikonasana. So a big step back with the left foot so that your feet land about your own leg length distance apart. The right heel intersects the left foot inner arch. The left toes turn towards the middle. The right foot is parallel to the edges of the mat. Now, we've got our hands on the floor still. Let's try and get that right leg straight while we're in this easier position for the spine. So both legs straight now. Lift the kneecaps, lift the quadriceps. And we're going to start to lift the torso all the way up, feeling those strong legs, feet grounded, and reach your arms from your heart. Palms down, draw the shoulder blades down, lengthen the spine. So enjoy this reaching feeling through the legs, through the spine, relaxing your shoulders so the neck is at ease. Nice work. All right, we're going to try and turn your whole torso, your ribs, to the left side. So you're looking over your left hand. Nice. And then we're going to bend or fold at the right hip crease, reach the right ribs over the right leg, the right arm over the right leg, and come into Trikonasana. We have strong legs. The feeling of reaching, but we're rolling back the left rib, the left hip, maybe even looking straight up at the ceiling. And feel the power out of the breath, heart and lungs. And reaching where it feels nourishing for your body. Trikonasana. Mhm. Beautiful. We're going to swing the left arm forward. You're either holding the seat of your chair or bring your hands back to the floor on the big toe side of your front foot. So it's an easier reach for your torso. Bend that front leg. And we're going to keep bending that front leg and bring your hip closer to the floor. Give yourself a nice big stretch there. Good. Release that stretch. And then we're going to lift up, step forward, and try to balance on the right leg again. Just notice the sequence of movements of weight shift. Break it down into smaller movements or one big gesture. Bring the hands in front of your heart. Your left hip toes can be on the floor. If you're using your chair, you could even put them on the seat of the chair and try lifting your foot just shy of there. Or lift your knee up nice and high. Beautiful. And then Tadasana. Remember, try to find your footing before you transfer your weight. Urdhva Hastasana and Uttanasana. Feeling your strong spine pressing forward. Ah, yes. Stretching, easing your spine, breathing. Okay, big step back for Trikonasana with your right foot. Try to land your foot so your inner arch is lining up with the left heel, right toes turning towards the center of your mat, left foot is parallel to the edges of the mat. Swing both your hands around so they're under your shoulders. So your hands will be on the big toe side of your foot on the floor. And let's, from here, from this floor position, start to really try and straighten your leg. Good, strong, straight legs. Really lift the kneecaps. And then we're going to, with that good, firm footing, lift the torso. Arms reaching from your shoulders. Beautiful. So lifting all the way up. And then you're going to turn your torso to the right side and look back over your right arm. Strong leg. We're going to keep this turn of the torso and the neck, but we're going to start to lift the left ribs, the left arm, and reach the left side of your torso and arm over the left thigh for Trikonasana. Bring your hands to or your arms to the vertical. Good. Rolling back the right hip, rolling back the right rib. Feel that you are grounded, that your legs are strong, and explore reaching here. Reaching the feet into the floor, reaching the length of the spine out and over your left leg, reaching the right hip back, the right rib back, reaching the arms from the heart, the neck long. Ah. Beautiful. Bring your hands down to the floor now. So bring both your hands on the big toe side of your foot so that their hands are underneath your shoulders, or you might be on the seat of your chair with your hands. Beautiful. And then we're going to figure it out. How do you keep your body in this position and bend your left knee? We're going to explore that nice deep stretch of the hips towards the floor. Good. So bending. Sorry, did I say right knee? I mean left knee. Left knee. So the right leg is straight behind you. Good. Nice big stretch. Beautiful. Releasing that and preparing to lift up, step forward, and balance on your left foot. You might be breaking that down into little steps, little stages.
finding your balance. Hands in front of your heart. Oh, lifting your right leg down. Find your footing before you transfer your weight. Feet back under the hips. Tadasana. Urdhva Hastasana. Uttanasana. Good. Turn your feet out. So your hips, your feet, your heels are a little bit wider than your hips. And we're going to start to bring the sit bones towards the heels for a squatting position. Now, it might be little depending on the health of your knees today, or it might be that you can bring your sit bones right down to your heels, but try to keep your heels down on the floor. As much as you can, heels stay on the floor. Good. Now, we've got the hands on the floor in front for balance, but reach them right out in front, as far as you can go. Try to press the bones of the spine forward. They might be really pressing against the skin behind you. Try to reach them forward, lifting the breastbone. Good. Pressing the heels powerfully. Lift the pelvic floor. Good. And then we're going to press the heels and straighten the legs. Strong legs. Nice work. Step the feet back. Hip width. Inhale. Arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. And then Tadasana. Ooh. Nice. All right. Arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. Uttanasana. Pressing the bones of the spine forward. Okay, we're going to take a really big step back with the left foot. And this is for warrior 2. So we're going to line up the center of the left foot inner arch with the right heel, but this time bend your right knee. The front leg is bent. Put your hands under your shoulders again for a moment. Let's try that stretch again where we bend the right knee more thoroughly, bring the hips towards the floor. Yes. And then bring your thigh, so you can have a look there, and get your thigh parallel to the floor if you can. Really feel the strength of your legs. We're going to try and hold the thigh parallel to the floor. And then we're going to lift the torso and reach the arms out from the heart. Ooh, nice strong legs. Oh. Turn your whole torso to look back to the left. Yes. And then just turn your head to look right. Warrior 2. Nice work. Hands in front of your heart. Stepping to the front of your mat and see if you can find your balance on your right foot. Swinging the left foot forward. You might have to wiggle your left foot in a little bit to take that weight. And finding your balance. Finding your breath. Nice work. Find your footing with your left foot before you transfer your weight. You're always balanced. Tadasana. Urdhva Hastasana. Uttanasana. Oh. Big step back with the right foot. And bend the left knee. Bring your hands on the floor, under your shoulders or on the seat of your chair. Good. But see if you can really bend that left knee as far as you can. Try to bring the hips down closer to the floor. Just let your back foot roll, but try to bend that front leg, the left leg. Nice. All right. We're going to bring that leg, and you can have a look, try to get your thigh bone parallel to the floor, so your left thigh bone. And can you hold that? So roll the outside edge of your right foot, lift the inner arches, strong in your feet. Try to hold that parallel thigh and lift the torso. Arms reach from the shoulders. Reach back with your right arm. Turn your torso to look over the right side, and then just your head to look left. You feel like the hips lifted up. Lift the pelvic floor. Lift the lower front belly. Breathing deep. Ooh. Warrior two. Virabhadrasana two. Okay, we're going to bring the hands in front of the heart. Take your movements to swing the right foot forward, balance on the left foot. Oh, as wobbly as they might be, finding your balance, appreciating your wobble, your movement. And find your footing, your placement of your foot before you transfer the weight back to Tadasana, mountain pose, Urdhva Hastasana, Uttanasana. Wiggle your feet out a little. Your heels are wider than your hips, and your toes out a little. Find your squatting position. So it can be a tiny movement, but really lifting powerfully your quadriceps, or it can be a bigger movement, bringing the sit bones towards your heels, but keep your heels on the floor. Reach your hands out in front of you. Oh, notice what's happening with the skin over the spine. Try to press the bones of the spine forward, lifting the breastbone. Oh, good. Pressing the heels powerfully, feeling strong internal muscular support. Breathing. Good. We're going to press into the heels and powerfully lift up. Beautiful. Step your feet back. Tadasana. Mountain pose. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Press them, draw the shoulder blades down. Your feet are hip width again, parallel. When you bend your knees now, your legs will stay parallel. And bend as deeply as your legs need to work. Press the front core towards the back core. So you feel really supported in your spine, using all this beautiful muscular strength around the core of your body. Oh, yes. Lifting the breastbone. So we're in a preparation for Utkatasana. We're going to keep the hips facing forward and try to keep the knees equidistant to the front of the mat. But we're going to turn the torso to the left side and looking back over your left shoulder. See how the right knee wants to come forward? Try to keep your knees equidistant to the front of the mat. Just turning the ribs and breathing. Ooh, feeling that engine of the breath. Yes. And back to center. And then turning the ribs to the right side. Yeah, notice the left knee wants to swing forward. Try to keep the legs even. Hard work for the legs, I know. Keep breathing. Yes, back to center. And standing up. Arms up. Urdhva Hastasana. And then Tadasana. Thank you, yoga. Finding the breath. Beautiful. And then we're going to step the whichever leg out. So you've got a wide-legged position towards the long side of your mat. You can see your device.
Turn your toes in. Strong legs. So for many, we can straighten our legs. That feels good. Lift the kneecaps. For some, keeping a little bend feels better for the knees, but still really lifting the kneecap. Hold the leg position that feels better for you. Let's bring the hands in front of the hips and see if we can lift the front of the pelvis a little more, the front of the hip bones a little more. Feeling a back bend, but really just in the legs and the hips. So preparing for a back bend with that strong foundation in the legs. Even feel the buttock muscles squeeze towards center. So feeling how long your legs are, how strong your legs are, your foundation. Feel internal muscular support of the pelvic floor. Good. Lengthening the belly. Lifting the breastbone now and looking up at the ceiling. Wow. And if you can take your arms by your ears, do that. Otherwise, just keep your hands at your center near finding your back bend. Beautiful. And then bring that shape forward. We're going to hinge at the front of the hip and lengthen the belly and the breastbone out and over the floor in front. Let's release the hands down onto the floor and walk them as far forward as you can. Press the outside edges of your feet. Lift the inner arches of your feet and the kneecaps. Really lift them. So remember, your legs can be a little bit bent if that feels better in your knees. Bones of the spine pressing forward. I love it. Breathing deeply. Finding your length, your strength, and the powerhouse of the breath. Great. And then we're going to come to sitting. So take your time, your own movements to do that. Or you can try jumping your feet into a squat and try to get your heels down as close to the floor, even if you do one at a time, so that you really warm up the flexibility in your feet before you try sitting. So you've got a better chance of landing where you want to land rather than falling back. Okay, but always, of course, sitting in the way that is most respectful to your body. Sometimes it's fun to just be like a kid and throw yourself around. We have to be wise. All right, let's bring the sit bone onto a blanket. So you're sitting up nice and tall, and the blanket helps just to tip the front of the hips forward a little bit more. And we'll take a sukhasana twist, seated twist, turning to the left side. Turning the ribs and looking back over your left shoulder. Relaxing your shoulder blades. And we're going to find that powerhouse of breath. At the beginning of class, we started with hands at the belly and the diaphragm in front of the heart. So really feeling your tactile senses and noticing the movement that happen in your torso as you breathe. So something that happens here on the exhalation is that as the breath leaves the body, there's more room to turn the ribs. And then you breathe into that shape. And as the breath leaves the body, more room to turn the ribs. Every breath
Shoulders are down and the neck is long. Ah, beautiful. And then releasing. Change the cross of your legs. Turning to your right side. Finding your flow of breath. As the breath leaves the body on the exhale, notice how you can turn your ribs and then filling that space, breath by breath. Ah, and back to center. I always feel like that's letting go of being stuck. Beautiful. We're going to lay down now. Arms out from your shoulders. Finding your breath. We're going to lift the feet off the floor. If it felt too strong for some reason to have the feet off the floor for this next sequence, you could do it with your feet on the floor. We're going to use the core awareness and strength and lift your hips and swing them a little bit to the left. And then we'll take the knees and the feet almost to the floor, not quite, on the right side. And you're looking back over your left shoulder. So really squeezing the core, gathering your strength to center. Beautiful. Bring the legs back up, lift the hips, swing them right, and then legs, knees and feet almost to the floor on the left, looking over your right shoulder. Beautiful. Gathering to center. Lift your hips, swing them left, and knees and feet towards the floor on the right, looking back over your left shoulder. Great. And back to center. Swinging your hips right and knees go left, and you're looking over the right. We're going to do one more each side. Ah, lovely. Back to center. And let's do a kind of mini bamboo pose. So we're not going to have the blanket underneath the hips. You're going to hug your knees into your chest and try to straighten your legs as much as you can without feeling like it's a struggle in the core of your body. So maybe your legs stay quite bent. But maybe you can straighten. If you're fortunate to be able to hold your feet, you could do that, give your legs a stretch. Not everyone's got such long arms, so you're just holding the back of your leg. But let your back relax and your belly relax. Good. And let's turn that into a happy baby pose. So bend your legs thoroughly now. Take your knees out wide as you can. Hold as close to your feet as you can with your hands. Your arms go on the inside of the knees. And holding, and then lift your feet. Your knees are nice and wide and close to the floor. It might feel nice to rock from side to side. Or just be still and centered. And breathing. flexible, adaptable, and grounded. And above all, in this posture, be baby, playful. Gently bring your feet back in, your knees together. If you were able to stay for Shavasana here, that would be nice. Namaste to you. If, like me, you need to finish your practice, you're going to roll over to your right side and come up to sitting. Bring your hands in front of your heart. Take the feeling of the practice with you. Namaste.